I've been in your waters. I can for sure. I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the second episode of our May's Fairmont GT restoration. And before we begin with that, I want to do a quick show and tell about a new addition we received this week. So this is a Tawny XY factory automatic, original trim ring, cabin lights, and then there we have the original gauges, steering wheel, breather pipe on the filler neck, identifiable black on the post as well as the black over here. So it seems like a pretty honest and straightforward car. Minimal rust. It's got small rust holes here and a little bit on the rocker, but otherwise in there it seems like a pretty good project. It's got the original hole for the shaker, bonnet pins. Somebody's put a incorrect grill in the car, but it's got the very identifiable XY fenders. Identifiable, this oval hole over here is only on XY fenders, not on an XW or XT. So XW or XT would have had two round holes over there instead of the one oval and one round. And then we've got our factory ermine white with red interior car. This one we're dressing in Aussie interior on the inside, so we're going to be using the wood grain paneling. Got the motor in. Yellow plugs, I need to get it fired up. We'll probably replace those later with black. Busy with a wiring loom on this. But yeah, pretty nice car as well. And then over here, we've got another ermine white car. Difference is this is a factory black interior car with a black vinyl roof. So on this car we still have to paint in the black on the post, black on the back, black on the hood. But a pretty nice car as well. And then we move on to our Maze car. Okay, guys, and back to our maze car. So as you can see, we had to break out some pretty serious equipment just to be able to unearth our sunroof over here. So this is our trusty workshop technician, Kun.
Hi guys.
So we've been hammering and chiseling away to try and get away the couple of centimeters of putty that's been stuck on here. So during the week, we had a discussion with some experts and did some serious research into the originality of the sunroof. So a couple of things, if you have a look closely up here, if you look at the round corner over there and the round corner over there, from factory, these would have been pretty round, whereas an aftermarket sunroof would have been a lot more sloppy. And then a couple of other things that we also had a look at. If you look at the bracket over there for the cabin light, now an aftermarket one wouldn't have been spot welded to the plate over there. Now, if you look up closely to this one, it's got spot welds on each corner holding it. Now, the research that we did confirmed that if it is a factory sunroof, that would have been spot welded to the plate that you see over there. Then we have a look at how clean the cut is over there, where aftermarket ones, they do tend to be also a lot more sloppy. You can see some trimming edges on it, where on this, none is visible. Then we have a look. There's a double hood lining over here, which was quite fascinating. And then one of the experts that we had a discussion with told us that basically what they did in the factory was that they already took a car that had a hood lining installed, um, picked it out of the line, had the sunroof installed, and then they reupholstered over that. So basically, it actually makes sense for it to have a double hood lining then. So there's enough evidence for us to feel comfortable to say that this is a factory sunroof car. Um, there will probably always be some argument and debate about it, but we're pretty comfortable to say that it is. Then we're going to have a quick look at some of the abrasives that we're going to be using here. So there's different options available to us. So definitely grinding stone for any body work, definite no-no. This is our flat flapper disc that we use with the rubber backing, and these work pretty well, but they do tend to take away quite a bit of the metal. Same goes for this one. Both are fantastic products, but they just take away too much of the metal. So what we tend to use is these hybrid coral discs. It's a woven abrasive. It's made of like a very hard plastic with some abrasive compound in it. So the nice bit about these is that they don't damage the metal at all. Whereas we have a look over here, you can actually see in the past there's some scarring from other people that's used much rougher discs on this. So we want to try and save the metal as much as we can, so we're going to use this. Couple of important things about it. It's something that you always want to run flat, not at an angle. Always got to use some protective gear with it. And then this does tend to generate quite a bit of heat. So what we do, we'll run a line over here, and then we'll run a line over here just to space out the heat that's going through your panel, and avoid any further damage or warpages. There is quite a bit of warpage here. The previous owner thought it well to attach the existing sunroof back to the old roof with some welding. So we'll be removing that. We'll have to do it carefully just to avoid damaging any of the existing panels. But in the process of him doing that, there was quite a bit of distortion and damage that happened to this roof. But once again, it's all accessible and it's all savable. So we'll be doing that. So from here, we'll do a time-lapse video of how we break down the roof back to metal. And there we go. There we have close to what we'd like to see as a finished product. So we've torn through most of the putty that was there. We've managed to get it all back to bare metal without causing further damage to the panels, compromising any of the integrity of it. Slight bit of scaving marks on it, but it's nothing deep or serious into your metal. Um, Over and beyond that, you don't want a smooth panel either, because you want to give your primer something to grip onto. So from here on, what we'll do is we'll cover the bare metal with just a 1K sealer primer. What that will basically do is we just use a small touch-up gun, seals the metal, and it keeps it like that until we're ready to work further on the panel later on. Now, one of the big questions is why we decided to start on the roof and not anywhere else on the car, and why haven't we torn the car down yet? Two reasons for that. The first reason is I try and keep a car intact as long as I possibly can before stripping it. Now, to do that, you need to stop short of your trim and your edges. So if you have a look here, you can see that there's still quite a bit of paint left just close to the trim there. So none of the trim's been damaged in the process of cleaning the roof. Here we stopped on the seam there. And then what we'll do from here on is we clean up all the bigger panels. Because the sandblasting causes damage to bigger panels, we want to clean those using coral discs, and then we'll use wire brushes. Now, definitely one of my other favorite products is a wire brush. So just to give you an example, if you have a look into the slots here, this one was cleaned out with a wire brush, that one was cleaned out with a wire brush, and that one hasn't. And it's a very noticeable difference between the two, to see that, the coral disc ran over this. It wasn't able to get into the corners there. So your wire brushes are great for getting into the little corners and places. So we just connect that to a drill. You get different wire brushes made for different applications and used in different places. But definitely those flat ones, they work great for all these little small spots. And then what we'll do from here on, after we clean up all the big panels, the boot, the roof, the bonnet, and then from there we'll strip the car completely back to a rolling shell. And then what we'll do is from there we'll send it off to the blasters so they can clean hard parts like the engine bay, your in and outer aprons, your inner pillars, floorboards, all panels that's built to handle the punch of sandblasting. Panels that can resist the warpage, can resist the heat. So that's the combo that we've used for a long time now, and it's worked for us so far. And then when we send it to the blasters, of course, the panels that we worked on will be covered just in a 1K primer, just to prevent any rust on it. And then once it comes back, we'll coat the entire car with the rust preventative primer, and then we'll go with the epoxy primer on top of that, that we start building on from there. In between, we'll get our welding done. Obviously, there's a lot of places that will have to fabricate some panels or either purchase panels and install them. So yeah, from there, our next episode will finish up the roof, or the roof will be finished up by then. And then from there, we'll start tearing our car down. We'll get the bigger panels sanded down. The boot and the bonnet doesn't have to be attached to the car when we send it to the blaster, so we can take those off and clean them one side. We might do a bit of cleaning already on the quarter panels and the doors. It depends on how fragile the panels is. Normally we do an assessment, and if the panels we feel they're too fragile to blast, then we'll do same thing, coral disc cleaning on the outside and just have them blasted on the hard inner parts. And then as soon as we get the doors back, we'll put the 1K primer on as well. So we're going to be tearing the complete car apart shortly, and then our next episode will be soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers. Bye.